The Recovery Channel is the latest groundbreaking television project from ENET, the Emergency Education Network.
You're watching the Recovery Channel.
Good information for good decisions. The Recovery Channel was first created in 1994 to assist the victims of the Northridge, California earthquake. For several weeks, its rudimentary broadcasts provided critical information to disaster victims: what aid was available, how to get assistance, meeting basic needs, and helping people with the long process of recovery. The Recovery Channel is an information channel, not a news channel, and so it focuses on information the news media often cannot cover: assistance locations, lists of phone numbers, details of housing inspection procedures, concern for evacuee morale, and other similar information that is critical to victims, but is usually of little interest to the general public served by the news media.
Law students in Alabama are reaching out to Katrina victims. I'm Diana G. at Recovery.
The version of Recovery Channel created in response to the 2005 Gulf hurricanes did the same. But to be sure it was effective in communicating with evacuees, it broadcast with the professionalism and style that hundreds of thousands of victims and evacuees had grown to expect from their informational television. It did it well enough to even get the attention of a global news organization.
70 miles from Washington in the Maryland countryside, it's showtime for FEMA.
In times of crisis, the best help is often just a source of reliable information.
This is the Recovery Channel, produced by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and airing around the clock via satellite and the internet.
The unprecedented scope of the Gulf hurricanes led thousands of people to temporarily relocate across the United States. Realizing that communicating to all the displaced required a national effort, satellite and internet webcasting was further supplemented by a partnership with the members of NATOA, the National Association of Telecommunications Officers and Advisors. They operate community cable channels across America. It was the kind of distribution plan that gets the attention of cable networks.
It's on the Dish Network, which puts it into about 12 million subscribers' homes.
The Recovery Channel demonstrated that critical government information could be presented in a contemporary, effective, and compelling style. And its innovative distribution system demonstrated a valuable way to communicate directly and on short notice to an audience anywhere in the United States. Working in harmony with the FEMA policy of directing recovery efforts to contractors from storm-affected areas with an emphasis on disadvantaged businesses, a company called AIMM, a certified 8A minority and veteran-owned business headquartered in the storm-ravaged area, was given the task of operating the Recovery Channel. Within days, it was broadcasting information in a modern style to help victims, and to assure the information would be available to all of them, it even put in place an innovative and robust system of low-cost direct satellite receivers installed at key locations. In addition to FEMA, it presented critical information from agencies such as the Small Business Administration, Coast Guard, Centers for Disease Control, and the Red Cross. Creating new and innovative ways to reach the people quickly, effectively, and efficiently is a tradition at ENET. The hallways of its Emmitsburg, Maryland production facilities on the grounds of the United States Fire Academy are lined with national awards and recognition for its creativity, effectiveness, professionalism, and public service.
Through programming that is audience-targeted, information-rich, technologically savvy, client-focused, and partnership.
While the style and distribution of the Recovery Channel were newly updated, getting into the nitty-gritty of disaster recovery, preparation for possible disasters, coordinating national training standards, and more have long been at the core of ENET programs. For example, as long ago as the 1980s, there were televised training programs covering local community planning, for paying disaster costs, for improving arson investigations, for the health and safety of first responders handling hazardous materials, a Sesame Street program for child safety.
Oh, hi there. I thought I was here all by myself.
A look at potential nuclear disasters, flood insurance, and much more. The style was different, but the goal was the same: supporting FEMA's focus on protecting civilians and resources, preserving the continuity of constitutional government in times of emergency, developing programs to prepare for disasters, and then respond once they occur, whether natural, technological, terrorist, or wartime. When the Department of Agriculture needed to present a complicated and thorough program related to health and possible terrorist threats to crops and livestock, it was ENET that did the job. The opportunity for the best experts available to reach the most people has always been a key factor for ENET Productions, and choosing the right approach is critical. Sometimes the best approach is a straightforward interview.
And just be totally prepared, and that's really what I got out of the training. It's just getting ready, just in case.
Sometimes it's a panel discussion.
I think what's important here is that agriculture is now really being seen as a critical infrastructure of the United States.
And when appropriate, a live broadcast to which the audience can phone or email in to participate personally.
We'll keep up that line during our program.
In the wake of the 9/11 terrorist attacks came the creation of the Department of Homeland Security. To better organize the national response to such horrors, DHS first created the NIMS, National Incident Management System, and then the NRP, or National Response Plan. NIMS and the NRP are the blueprint for local, state, and federal response to major national events, such as a terrorist attack. These critical programs were introduced to America's first responders in the most effective way possible, by ENET programs.
As a first responder, it is your job to help others in need. And by being aware of your surroundings, you may obtain enough information to keep a bad situation from getting worse.
Whether the issue is responding to a hurricane that devastates a region, or preparing for conflagrations that destroy forests and cities, mitigating the risks of floods, or preparing for a possible health or agricultural crisis, ENET continues to reach key audiences. The subjects and even style may change.
From the National Emergency Training Center in Emmitsburg, Maryland.
Coming to you live from the Firefighters Memorial Museum.
Not only during the disaster, but for a long time to come.
But the goal remains the same.
Good information for good decisions.
This is the power of the new ENET.